Welcome back, everybody, to SPANK'UM Chess. I am B Hood, and today I'll be discussing a game where I'll go over the classic French defense from the white perspective, with the Swiss variation with bishop to d3. So let's check it out. The French defense starts out with the move e4, e6. This is the starting point of the French defense. I play d4, and your opponent plays e5. So therefore, we want to control the center. I go knight to c3. My opponent plays knight to f6 and bishop to d3. This is called the Swiss variation.
Yes, you know what it is, don't you, boy?
This setup by white aims to maintain a solid pawn structure while preparing to castle kingside and develop the pieces harmoniously. The move bishop to d3 is part of the plan to support the e5 pawn and prepare for central expansion.
What the fuck's that mean, grunt shit?
So with that, we begin to understand what I was aiming for. My opponent plays bishop to b4, pinning the knight, which is an inaccuracy, which is a mistake.
Who gives a fuck what you think?
Because now that gives me the impetus to gain another tempo on the knight with bishop to e5, and he goes knight f to d7. So with the knight f to d7, my opponent did that a move late, and that gives me a chance to go knight to d2, knight to d2, knight to e2. So with the knight to e2, even though it is a mistake, even though it is a slight mistake, I still am one move away from castling, and he goes c5. c5 now. If you look at the board with one more push, if I'm caught unawares, this here will pin the bishop. So I go bishop to b5, pinning the knight. He goes a6, I capture. He captures back with the knight, and I castle on the king side. He follows suit also. Now in this position here, I go knight to g3, which is another mistake. And
no other game is run so disorganized.
these are the things we need to look out for in our games, is always looking over the board to ensure that we make the correct move.
You saying you can't control your bitches? What I'm saying is...
However, I go knight g to e2, which gives black a slight advantage. My opponent goes c captures on e4, queen captures on e4. Now I have an attack on the bishop, and the bishop drops back to c5. And as you can see, my opponent has developed a strong center, because he has a nice pawn chain, and I have that weak pawn that could become an attack under attack in the future. I go queen to f4, and he goes queen to c7. I go rook to e1, and he goes queen to b6, which is another mistake. Now,
I don't believe you, man. I don't believe you.
as you can see in this game, I've made mistakes and my opponent has made mistakes, and these things will happen. These things will happen, ladies and gentlemen, but we must continue to play our games, study, and go over them. That's why I'm going over this game with you right now. Boom. Knight to a5, I'm attacking the bishop and I'm attacking the queen, and that is that is a dubious move.
You got your game and I got mine, okay?
The engine can simply be thwarted or counterattacked with queen to b4. And queen to b4 can lead to where black still maintains his advantage. The example line could go like this: queen to b4, queen captures, bishop captures, c3, bishop to a5, b4, and bishop back to c7. And as you can see by the arrows that I provided, black has a nice strong battery that is lining up towards the king. He also has a double attack on the e4 square, and that can become a significant problem in the future. And my knight is stupidly placed. Knights on the rim lead to a trim. So let's go back. In this position, my opponent makes another miss or a mistake, and he goes queen to c7. He drops his queen back to c7, and now with that move there, I gain a tempo with knight captures on c5. My knight captures on c5, forcing him to capture back. He captures back with his knight. Knight captures on c5, and knight to h5. Knight to h5. With the knight to h5 move, I see that you can look at his pawns here that are going to be severely weak, and my bishop is waiting to be attacked. I have my rook in the center of the board, And in a lot of times in the French defense, what you will see is the fact that the light square bishop is pinned in due to the e6 square, due to the e6 move. So that can definitely help become in the white's favor later on in the game. Let's see how the game continues. My opponent plays. Now he's made 3 mistakes. I've made a couple of mistakes. He's made a couple of mistakes, but this mistake here is what is going to cost him the game.
Goldie, get off my ass with the penny and he pussy schemes.
Here we go here. Let's check it out. Boom.
Good, you was quick. You was good on your feet that time, man.
Knight captures on G7. Knight captures on G7, and if the king doesn't capture back, he will lose a crucial pawn for nothing. So king captures, and then here is a very deadly move, and I want you guys to leave it in the comment if you know what it is. I'll give you a few seconds. I'm showing you right now. It is Pow!
Say another motherfucking word and this shit is over. And I ain't playing, nigga.
Rook captures on e4. So those are 2 sacrifices. Knight sacrificed on g7, and now a rook sacrifice on e4. And this leads to a beautiful endgame, a beautiful checkmate. Pawn captures on e4, queen to f6 check, king to g8, and bishop to h5 or h6 checkmate. My opponent flagged over here because either way he's going to be checkmate in 1 to 2 moves. And
I want you to do me a favor and take old Judas Goat over there, and I want you to just get the fuck out of my face, okay?
And as you can see, this is another video that can highlight how to overcome your mistakes and your mistakes that you make, which can cause your opponent to make mistakes by being an attacking player. Hi-yow! So here we go again. Dynamic and tactical game. A3. And now, here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to Spank Chess. I am being here.